Hello Year 13s. So this brief video follows up from my other YouTube video which introduced the small group supervisions that hopefully you've seen. It's in the same playlist as this one, and that just explains why we're doing this and why it's helpful to you, and it is. But if you haven't watched it, watch it now and then come back to this. In terms of the actual supervisions, what's going to be happening is you'll meet once a week with your supervisor and other people in your group arranged by subject area. And the session might start with you, particularly the first session, with a little discussion about what interests you in your degree subject, what things you think you might need to know more about. Now, in terms of helping you do that exploration, we have created this supercurricular Bible. So say, for example, I was with my supervisor and something that I'm interested in is politics. I might think about, well, what do I already know about? And what I know about is probably contemporary stuff. I know about Thatcher and I know about Blair and stuff. But where I'm a little bit more ignorant is knowing more about kind of political philosophy and theory and where some of these politicians kind of got their ideologies from. So that would be something that I might want to explore over the course of these small group supervisions, because I'm mindful it's something I don't know about and it's something that I might encounter at university. So for example, there is a section here, a politics section, but let's go into some of the other sort of all subject resources where I can do some of this exploration. So a really good one is this, A on Essays. And this has got like loads of really short but quality newspaper type articles or essays. So for example, say I were to look up political philosophy. Let's see what happens. And you find here loads and loads of essays, but they are short. I mean, they're literally a page of that, but you've got some big writers there like Foucault, de Beauvoir. I might not have pronounced Foucault right. You've got some more ancient ideas, but that might be something that I might have a look at. So, for example, de Beauvoir, what she said about political philosophy. But you'll see it's quite short. All right, so you might want to have a look in there. But you might think, oh, that looks all a little bit dry, and I want something a little bit more interactive. So some other things are MOOCs that hopefully you've heard about before, little short university courses you can do online. So and I've put some portals here. So let's go into, for example, Coursera, which is a big MOOC portal. So let's have a look. So let's type in political philosophy, what happens. Philosophy. Let's see. I'm not getting much there. Okay, let's try something else. How about political theory? What happens if I do that? Okay, so something like that, the moral foundations of politics, that sounds philosophy-like, theoretical. So let's have a look in there, see what that involves. And it's also from a top-rated university, Yale, one of the best American universities. And you'll see at the top here under the title, it's got a 4.8 rating out of 5, so it's really highly rated. And if I go into the syllabus, you see here that it's talking about the Enlightenment, classical philosophy, Marxism, so that's another perspective that's been very important in our age. And so this actually probably is something that might be what I'm looking for, this kind of thing. And if you notice in the top right, it starts on May the 6th, which means it's instant enrolment. So you can enrol any day. If it's got today's date in it, then that means it's instant enrolment, and you do not need to pay for these things. So if it says certificate for this fee, don't worry about that. Don't opt for that option unless you want to. All right, so what would happen next? What we want you to do is record what you're planning to to do. Bear with. So each of you's got a OneNote space for your group, and in there we'd just like you to record what you're planning to do. So in this case, I might write Yale moral politics MOOC, and then write how many hours you plan to do between the next supervision, and it's weekly, so a couple of hours is not unreasonable. Then what we want you to do is when you come back at the next supervision, we'll discuss how you've got on. Maybe you'll do a little. You'll have agreed to do a little presentation on what you've done, and then maybe if there's another person in your group who wants to do that with you, you could do a little presentation. You should agree to do a little presentation, and over the following week, prepare that. Nothing extensive, like a couple of minutes, but it's very much for you to agree with your supervisor. And then feedback, and if the feedback is really did not like it, it was far too hard, it was far too easy, content wasn't interesting, it was too old-fashioned, whatever, it's fine for you to say that, okay? And likewise, if you're not enjoying something, you can, over the course of that week before your next supervision, decide to stop that MOOC. So you could put in here, stopped. Way too hard. But do then find something else that you can do, all right? So, for example, A on essays on political philosophy instead, all right? And then once you've done that, at your next session, just mark how many hours you've done. So you didn't like that one very much, so you did 0.5. And then you did an hour of this. And then what we'd like you to do is review anything you've done. So the reason for that is we can keep track of what you're doing, but we can also get feedback, because there's so much out there of what are the good things out there that appeal to students like you, what things are frankly a little less good, and we can use that for advising students coming up through the course, through the school. So let's go into, we've created a form for you, so it's there, and then you enter your name, please enter your group number so that we can, it just makes it easy for us to filter, and then just the name of the MOOC or the essays you wrote, web address. Most important thing, a rating, how good or bad was it, and then just some comments about how difficult was it. So was it too hard for an A-level student? If it was too easy but interesting, you might want to note this is kind of GCSE standard, so we know that it's something we could give to a GCSE student who is interested in that area. Okay, whether it will require prior knowledge at A-level, at GCSE, or it doesn't require prior knowledge, and then just some comments about what you found out. Doesn't have to be extensive, that should take a couple of minutes to complete, and then at the end, if you can just answer whether you want you want us to credit you in future editions of our super curricular booklet that this course was reviewed by you, and we're very happy to do that. So, for example, rated 5 out of 5, or it should read 5 out of 10 by Araminta, and whatever comments you might have made. So hopefully you are going to find this useful, and also be a nice opportunity for us to all catch up. You're going to learn something, maybe what modules you want to do at university, what ones you don't, any new areas you discover that really pique your interest that you could make part of your degree, and maybe also some reflections on whether you should add another subject into your degree or something like that. There is flexibility in the system there. So look forward to seeing my group next week, and please do keep in touch with me or Miss Parsons with any issues as they arrive. Thank you.